they're never going to let you in the club, okay? And you, like the movie Django, you are the character of Samuel L. Jackson. I don't know the exact terminology, but like not Uncle Tom, but like Uncle Tommy, or like you were a complete sellout.
Welcome back to the Devori Darkins Show. So in this video, we're going to be talking about this young lady by the name of Michaela Montgomery. She did a speech for President Trump at his Atlanta, Georgia rally, and she's been going viral ever since. As a result of her going viral, people have been coming out and criticizing her and making some comments that you could argue are racist. And this speaks to the overall issue that you find when black people identify as conservatives or they vote Republican and they are not supporters of the Democrat Party. And what I want to do right now first, before we get into Michaela Montgomery, is to show you a clip of black people describing what the Democrat Party seems to be missing when it comes to black people. Let's play that clip.
What they understand least about us is that we are human beings too, and we got rights too.
I don't think they take us serious. They take us for granted.
The fact that we're just Americans, first of all.
A lot of times they think that we are just going to follow maybe what our parents followed or what our grandparents followed, and they think that we're not thinkers, smart enough to think for ourselves and really look at this for what it is.
They believe that black people are uneducated, that they don't love their country, and they are just led by whatever they see on news, celebrities, and the media.
Not gullible the black voter is. They're underestimating the black voter. They're putting us in a box, and they think we won't deviate from the norm.
They don't come to the hood and see what's going on in the hood, so they'll never know what's going on in the hood.
They don't have black voters if they don't have any broke black voters.
They can't buy us. The black vote has long stood with the Democratic Party for long, and I feel like they have taken that for granted, and they haven't done much with it. And black men are entrepreneurial. Black men are responsible. Black men want to take care of their family. Black men are competent. Black men are able, and we can't be bought with socialist agendas. We are smart and we're able.
Okay, so you guys seen that, and this speaks to the larger issue that Kamala Harris has in front of her, which is she's not going to get a lot of black men voting for her. She may not need it, but it does speak to the issue inside of the black community, how you have black women who are overwhelmingly going to be voting for Kamala Harris, and then you have black men overwhelmingly going to be voting for President Trump. You're going to find that if you are a woman and you are black and you're not voting for Kamala Harris, you could expect this type of backlash, which is what Michaela Montgomery started to experience. Let's play that clip.
Good morning. Thank you for taking my call, and thank you for C-SPAN. I lived in Georgia during the 2020 election, and, I didn't vote for Biden or Trump, but I do remember this same sort of rhetoric coming from Ms. Montgomery, trying to claim that, black voters were going to change sides to the Republican Party. And in 2020, I think the black percentage was like 6% for Trump. So I just find it funny that every 4 years, the same, kind of song and dance gets laundered by the Republican Party. And I think it's worth mentioning that, Ms. Montgomery, she was the former city director of Blexit, which is a far right, we're going to try and get, we're going to try and quote unquote free the plantation mentality is a literal quote of the organization of black voters. And it's founded by Candace Owens, who's a far right loon. So I just think it's disappointing when C-SPAN, platforms people like Michaela Montgomery or Sebastian Gorka, or constantly refers to the Washington Examiner or the Washington Times, which are quite literally far-right newspapers that are made up. I mean, the Washington Examiner, go look up who founds them. Next, you're going to be, referring to the Epoch Times. So,
all right, Colin, we'll get a response from Michaela Montgomery. Go ahead, Michaela.
First of all, I'm a huge fan of Candace Owens, and I went to my first Blexit event here in Buckhead back in 2019. And the speeches that I heard, the visualizations that were presented to me, I was like, wow, this is great. And when it comes to getting off the Democratic plantation, that's a real thing, and I don't know why somebody would feel like I, myself, would be offended by that. If everybody thinks the same, has been fear-mongered into thinking the same way, living the same way, then yes, that's a plantation. Because how in the world were so many slaves who outnumbered their slave masters continuing to be slaves? It happened because they were fearful of doing something different. So when we say that Democrats are on this Democratic plantation, specifically talking about black people, it's because yes, you guys are all blindly following a leader and you're scared to do something different.
Okay, let's pause really quick. Yeah, that's the problem. This is absolutely on all sides of the political spectrum. So for example, tribalism, right? Where people are more loyal to a group of people and not necessarily loyal to the country or loyal to actual principles or policies that will further the country in the right direction. This has been something that's been growing a lot in our country, and in some respects a good thing, but in a lot of respects a bad thing, as you heard on that call, right? If you don't vote for the Democrats and you're black, then you ain't black, right? Or there's something wrong with you. And I find it to be very hypocritical and embarrassing and toxic of people to say things like that. And it actually takes away from what's most important, which is, even if we disagree, let's have a conversation, let's debate, let's understand, and we might be able to find common ground. But that's for people who are obviously emotionally mature. Let's get back to this.
Additionally, to think that somebody like myself, who can clearly articulate their points, their opinions, their life experience that have led them to support certain candidates, it's very interesting that somebody would demean C-SPAN for having a guest like me on TV. There's plenty of people who think, act, and wish that a voice like mine had a bigger platform. So it's unfortunate that people like that feel like we should be silenced.
All right, let's talk to Ladley in Marietta, Georgia, Democrat. Good morning.
Yes, I did not know that you knew Candace Owens. Because she's pretty much been outcasted by the right because of her stances on Israel. But anyway, you will have a good job at Fox News at some point. I guarantee you that. And the things you point out on the Democrats, their failures, you're absolutely right on some of the things. The Democrats fall short, but at least we try. The Republican policies are just the complete opposite, okay? Last thing I want to say, they're never going to let you in the club, okay? And you, like the movie Django, you are the character of Samuel L. Jackson. I don't know the exact, terminology, but, not Uncle Tom, but, Uncle Tommy, or, you are a complete sellout.
All right, and we'll go to Robert in...
Oh, I can't respond to that?
Oh, yes, you can.
Thank you very much. Because first of all, it sounded like that was a non-black person telling me that. So as a Democrat, that sounds pretty racial and pretty divisive. Next, it's very interesting that I, again, would be called names or be compared to fictional characters because of who I choose to support. Again, these people who are calling and making these derogatory statements about me, who I choose to support, are denying the fact that, again, who are you to tell me that my personal experience is invalid? I think that that's something that a lot of Democrats need to look within, because how have you tried? Kamala Harris is in office right now and has not tried to do anything about the border, has not tried to not tax people on tips, and has not tried to do anything about our failing education system. So everything that she's promising she can do for you on day one, she could do right now, but she's not trying to. So that's something to, for some Dems to take home.
And this is what black people deal with who do not go along with the Democratic Party, right? So first, they resort to calling us names, coon, Uncle Tom, a sellout, et cetera, because that's all they have, right? When someone doesn't understand what choices you made and why you made them, someone who's emotionally immature, what they will do, they will resort to calling you names. That's number one. Number two, the results speak for themselves. You see, if you don't want to vote Democrat, because you've seen there has not been improvement in your community, whether you're black, white, pink, red, orange, or yellow, that is your prerogative to do so because you're basing it off of the results. And to make this much clearer, think of this. There would be no President Trump if it wasn't for President Obama. President Obama sold people lies and dreams and never fulfilled on them. So at a certain point, Americans got fed up with career politicians feeding us bullshit. And what happened? The birth of a businessman, someone who's not a politician, being supported by the American people and becoming president. So when these people complain that we don't want to vote Democrat and they want to complain that there are people who support Trump, don't get mad at us. Get mad at your party. Get mad at the Democrats because they have not kept up their end of the bargain. At number 3, the gentleman that was asking her a question and then made the statement that she's like Samuel Jackson off Django. What does that say about Democrats? Aren't Democrats the one accusing conservatives and people who support Trump as individuals who are racist and sexist and misogynistic? What about when you have people on your side speaking like that? What does that say about you guys? And she does a great job of responding and handling herself. So as I wrap up this video, this is how you have to handle people who hate on what you're doing. Sometimes you're going to make a decision in your life that is going to piss a lot of people off, but you've got to make that decision for you, right? You got to do what makes you happy, what's true for you. And what's true for you may not be true for other people out there. And you know what? That's okay. Because generally speaking, on the conservative side, I don't care about what choices you're making. I don't care about who you're voting for. I don't care about what policies you believe in or why you hate Donald Trump or why you love Kamala Harris. I can care less about all that. But what I find to be funny is that people on the left care more about all that stuff. But they're not willing to debate. They're not willing to have mature conversations. They rather resort to what you've seen in this video. And that just shows you what they truly think of black people. That's my mindset. What's yours? What do you think about these callers and how they were speaking to Michaela Montgomery? What do you think about how Democrats historically have treated black people, especially over the last 30 years? I want to hear what your thoughts are and more in the comment section below. Thank you for checking out the video today. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Stay grateful, stay focused, stay true. Peace.